Welcome, my Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus Sun. Welcome to your 7-card draw. What do I need shadow read for this full moon in Capricorn, waning to new moon in Cancer, June into July 2021? I am your reader, Mark Angelo Lyons Mal, for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Productions, son of Cancerian mother, who I just spent the weekend with up in Saratoga, and it was lovely. The Archangel of Lyons, Mark Angelo Lyons. But you can call me Mal. Hey. Hey, my crab cakes. Yes, I saw my mom. I went up for Father's Day, saw my stepfather, Hera and Zeus, as I call them, because they kind of really are. I mean, Carl Jung is even like, yeah, pretty much. So really enjoyed myself. Had a lovely time. Didn't want to leave, but was so glad to get back. Just dropped my friend Mark Wendland, twice Tony Award nominated set designer, who house sat and cat sat for me. My boys drove him nuts. He didn't really deal with cats growing up, so that was an education for him. And just dropped him back off in Brooklyn today, and have the house to myself. So here I am, back at it full force. Now we are doing a full moon to new moon read, and full moon is tomorrow, but with traveling and everything, it just, I couldn't work while I was away. The Wi-Fi was the Ni-Fi. It was Ni-Fi to be found. So I'll get these out as I get them out. I can't burn myself out, which also kind of doesn't rhyme, but sort of does. And taking clients as I go. Oh, so if you want to book me, I've been reading people since I was 12 years old, and I don't just, ooh, read, you know, like, read. I mean, like, I've been reading tarot since I'm 12. I am 52. Yeah, I know, I don't look at things. Thank you, Lancome and Neutrogena. Nothing like a little sunscreen, a little SPF, and with your rapid wrinkle reviver, reducer, whatever it is. Thank you, Andy McDowell. Enough. Let's get up in this read. It's a 7-card draw. 1 card from 7 different decks. We're doing 2 tarot, 2 healing systems, 3 oracles, and one of the new oracles is the Blessed Bee cards from Lucy Cavendish. Ah, she's good at what she does. I love her. Just really great deck. Saving that one for last. I think you'll dig it. To get you the clues, tips, and hints you need about a specific timeline. It's a waning moon read, so it's a shadow read. We're going to be looking at what it is you need to let go of. Wane, release, heal, forgive, all that tricky stuff, considering I think Mercury just went retrograde, but we're still in the shadow of that for a while. I think Saturn's retrograde, Jupiter's retrograde, I think Neptune's retrograde. Is Uranus retrograde? If so, I believe they have a cream for that now. Such a stupid joke, but I love it. So let's get up in this gig. All I can ask for anybody watching any of my readings is to remember it's a general. Check your other signs. You can get same information about the same situation or something completely different that you need to deal with for a waning moon period. And both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will. I will do the same to get you the clarity, guidance, and grace that I can get for you. From my pantheons of the divine and through these magnificent card systems that they operate through. They leave the cards in my hand. I'm not just an intellectual reader. I know what all the cards mean in so many different ways. I'm not just an energy reader as a Pisces moon empath that I am. But I am also a mystical reader in that the gods just speak it through me, and I think there's more of that going on the tube of you than people realize. Yeah. So let's get up on this gig. All the decks that I read are always at the very bottom of the description box should you care to look into them or get them. I recommend all of them. I don't work with decks that I don't absolutely love and adore working with. And if you want to book me, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, slide into my DMs. We'll work something out. Yeah. Let's do this. Please take a nice deep breath. And read my book, Words of Grace, because it's really good, apparently. As I call upon, my mommy says so, Jesus God, Syrian. I call upon my collective pantheons of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters, and the higher souls of all involved, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above. What is the dominant archetype from the Caroline Makes archetype deck hovering in their 8th chakra, the Cancerian collective sun, moon, rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading, that they most need to be aware of for the alchemy from lead to gold, from shadow to light. Lead having 3 more atoms than gold. Those 3 have to be let go of. Perfect for shadow work and waning moon and all that murky jazz, please. So please, what is the dominant archetype in them, around them, overshadowing them this full moon in Capricorn to their new moon of the year in Cancer? Please just leave it in my hand. And we have got one of the child archetypes. Now everybody has the child archetype. It's one of what's called the survival family. There are 9 families. The first family you learn about reading Carolyn Mason's Sacred Contracts, brilliant life-changing book, is about the survival family, the child, the victim, victor, the saboteur, empower, and the prostitute. And prostitute has very little to do with sex unless it does. And in this magnificent card deck that is really not geared for divination but does a damn good job in my hands apparently, she put a number of the sub-archetypes for the child, because everybody was a child. It's how we learn how to survive, like from the moment we draw breath, right? We're learning, we're gathering both lead and gold. So everybody has a child and everybody has the magical child. Let me enlighten you. The shadow attribute, which would be the toxic stuff you don't want to look at in yourself, or if you are aware of it, you don't want anybody else to know. Pessimism, depression, and disbelief in miracles. Believing that energy and action are not required for growth. Now, I have the magical archetype. I mean, my mother named me the Archangel of Lyons. I mean, she didn't know that at the time, I guess. Matthew is my older brother, so I'm Mark. My brother Matthew's middle name is James, which is my great-grandfather on my father's side. Angelo is my great-grandfather on my mother's side. But nonetheless, right? So I've always, like, it's a long story. Wait till my autobiography comes out. I was a very magical child. So I can relate to that pessimism, depression, and disbelief in miracles, because a child has to be disillusioned in order to grow and survive, right? Better to be disillusioned than illusioned, but yet that doesn't mean that miracles aren't things, right? That miracles aren't true. Oh, I don't have it next to me. I've totally dove face first into A Course in Miracles again, mostly to get in touch with what? The innocent child of God within me, which is the divine child, but let's not split archetypal hairs. What you are shooting for here. See, this could absolutely be in other people around you, not just you, because everybody has the child, but not everybody has the magical child. Seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things. The belief that everything is possible. Now, I'm a Virgo, so I hedge that a little bit. I don't know, everything is possible, but there are some things that are highly improbable, right? I cannot, as of yet, do the Samantha Stevens, right, Serena Uncle Arthur thing, like, you know, like that. Oh, if I could, I'm gonna save a lot of mileage on my car. You know, I can't snap my fingers and turn into Nell Carter. I mean, that would be fun for an evening, considering she's no longer with us. But, you know, just complete physical, biological opposite of me. Probably not possible. And probably less probable. But this is obviously talking about finding the magic in life again, particularly with what we've been through. So many of our dreams dashed in the fires of the endemic pay. You know, that child in us took a lot of hits, regardless of your age, right? So look, feeling depressed, being depressed is not a sin. It's often a sign that healing is taking place on such a deep level that if we can find a way to manage that in a healthy way, I don't care what sub-archetype it is, this is a total download for whoever is watching this. The child archetype, regardless of sub-pattern, magical, divine, orphan, victim, any wounded, any of that, the real foundation of the child archetype is safety and innocence. So if that child in us does not feel safe, right, it's not going to enjoy life. It can't open up. It can't feel vulnerable to even hope and believe in a miracle. See what I'm saying? So wherever you are on that scale, and we're all somewhere on a sliding scale percentage-wise from lead to gold with the child archetype day in, day out. but it is a journey, right? So let's keep going. Healing with the Angels Oracle. Who's the healing angels you can work with on this? Please take a nice deep breath. Oh, I think my Amazon delivery is here. I hear the Amazon boop boop in the background. I'll keep my eye out. Breathe as it stops. As if by magic, child. As I call upon my angels and archangels of water and the sign of Cancer, my Gabrielites, please, powers of the West, element of water. Who is or what is the healing angels, the legion of healing angels, waiting in the wings, on their wings, with their wings, for this Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading, waiting for them to just ask, right? With that innocence of a child, but they would have to believe in angels in some way, shape, or form, right? Or at least be willing to dip a toe in the angelic pond, so to speak. Who's waiting to help them this full moon in Cap to their new moon in Cancer? Well, what does a child do but grow? So how about the healing angels of spiritual growth, which means there are things in play that you can't see. The purpose, not the reason. I am so sick of hearing everything happens for a reason. No. No. The mind can come up with all sorts of reasons that end up being completely false once the true divine purpose, the spiritual lesson, the spiritual growth, which we always, if we're paying attention, see in hindsight. Right? That's why pulling back and seeing things differently, and by all means, inner child work, because you don't want that third eye truth and illumination without a heart that's ready to open. That's how I know something is real, mystical, divine, truth, vision, whatever. It just doesn't hit me here. It's like, it's not just interesting, it's moving. Well, I'm a Pisces moon and a Virgo sun, so I don't feel naked necessarily, but called to the spiritual growth healing angels. They are helping you heal to possibly integrate the spiritual growth so that this magical child can grow in its strength, right? And seeing the potential for sacred beauty, I feel like is a curse most of the time. But that's me. Yeah. Because potential doesn't always mean actualization. Yeah, that would be my magical child being a little salty, but pretty sweet. Breathe. We've got one healing system on the table with Carolyn Mace. We've got one oracle on the table, healing with the Angels Oracle. Let's get our tarot narratives on the table. We're going to use Daughters of the Moon Tarot to get the heart, throat, third eye crown aspect, the personal level of power, your emotional willpower, mental power, spiritual power, what's going on inside of you, yin side of you, your divine feminine energy. If you want to go there, please take a nice deep breath. As I call upon my goddesses of water in the sign of Cancer. Hestia, Hera, Hecate, the Virgin, the Queen, and the Crone. Please, one card in clarity for my Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video. Receiving this reading. What is it they need to be aware of inside of themselves? Because that magical child can absolutely operate in any of the chakras, but if we're talking about depression and disbelief, we are pretty much talking heart, third eye crown, and that shadow. So please, a piece of tarot narrative. What is it they need to know inside of themselves dealing with this magical child archetype with spiritual growth? This full moon in Capricorn, waxing to new in Cancer. Now, this is a court card, but this doesn't mean this is somebody else inside of you. So of course it is. This is the Virgo card, right? The Maiden of Pentacles, which would be the Knight of Pentacles. It's a feminist deck. Lada, L-A-D-A, look her up, right? Because all of these goddesses have lore that you can get so much more into than I can do right here. And I am a Virgo, so I can relate to this. I have no planets in Cancer. It's in my 12th house because I'm Leo rising, but no planets there otherwise. So as I tune to the energy about this is totally about self-healing and clear boundaries, your innocence, right? The word virgin originally had nothing to do with sex, really. virgin territory, virgin land. There are virgin goddesses, Artemis, Aphrodite, and not Aphrodite. Survey says no. Artemis, Athena, and Hestia, one of my 3 goddesses that sit in the throne of Cancer, right? Unowned, unmarried. I am under what is called a Virgo vow. I took it at Beltane. That though I may marry, I will never be owned. No one will ever own me again, not even my numbers on YouTube. See what I'm saying? It's like, oh no, I am virgin territory witch, right? I think that deserves that. Kitty Thorpe, Kitty Thorpe, meow, right? Great. I mean, this is really 6th house energy. Let's put it in, take it out of the zodiac sun sign and all of that and put it in the house energy. 6th house, occupation and health. But take it out of what you do for a living. Yes, Virgos are the servants of the zodiac. I'm down there with that. But then this is real self-service. And what you are occupied with has a direct effect on your health, right? As my guides explained it to me once, they said crackheads are occupied with crack. How's it doing in their health? It's like, probably, who does it work for? It doesn't work for me. Well, who does it work for? Blessed be Trixie and Katya, right? So what are you occupied with? Can you be occupied with the healing of this magical child in terms and with the help of the healing angels of spiritual growth? This is wonderful. I love my Cancerians. I can't help it. I can't help it. I was raised by one. I love my mom. She made me, from scratch, Sicilian sesame cookies. Are so good. It's like 5 ingredients. You could give me those ingredients. I couldn't do what she does. And she burns them a little on the bottom. So good. Oh, God. I'm going up there again soon. Please breathe. What's going on the outside? Let's ask the gods with the mythic tarot to give us the root sacrum solar plexus, the physical, the literal level of power. Either you from the outside looking in, or you from the inside looking out at some aspect of the physical world, or something that would impact your root sacrum solar plexus dynamics. Breathe. Okay, I call upon my gods of water and the sign of Cancer, Poseidon, and all of the titans of water and the lakes and the rivers and all that. Please, one card in clarity for this beautiful Cancerian collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading, alchemizing the magical child archetype with the healing angels of spiritual growth and that Virgo energy, that virgin, pure, innocent, unowned, untouched by anything that has gone on in this world, right? The soul of who we really are, the divine child in that unowned, and also possibly very private and boundaried, right? That maybe they need to occupy themselves with their boundaries while they do whatever kind of spiritual healing or work that they're doing. So please give us one card in clarity. What does this look like? Root sacrum solar plexus dynamic, please. Them from the outside looking in, or them looking out at something on the outside. This full moon in Capricorn to their new moon in Cancer. 7 of Swords, my least favorite card in the tarot, but only in like traditional tarot. I like it in the Daughters of the Moon because it's called meditation. It's just a different vibe entirely. Well, and here's the thing. This is a general read. Like, you can do this in a sneaky way, right? 7 of Swords, sneaky, sneaky, but it can also be about self-preservation. I mean, the Hermit could have come out on that, right? And that would have been perhaps a healthier depiction. But when it's a major arcana card, it's a place of life that you're going through. When it's a minor arcana card, it's a thing that you're doing. But it's really temporary. I mean, so is major arcana. It's just, to me, major arcana are archetypal places that you move through in life. So you're not always in the death card, right? The court cards, obviously, people, but I think it gets very confusing on YouTube when people are assigning sun signs to those cards. It's just tricky. It's problematic. I find too much information. Go with the energetic dynamic. I think it makes more sense. And then the minor arcana are things that you deal with or things that you do, right? And this is definitely a mental card, right? Swords. element of air. So there might be some secrecy here. I can't shake this. That somebody's being a little sneaky. And you need to kind of like protect that magical child inside of you so that it can grow. At this point in my life, once I even catch a whiff that someone might be, lies, illusions, deceptions, delusions around me, to me in any way, shape, or form, I immediately go, oh, no, I made a vow to the child of my heart, honey. If you're not going to come true and correct, you're out, at least for now. And it may not always be that way, right? Because once you reach a certain level of spiritual growth, you really can't be lied to. I mean, they could try, but my main job right now, my main vow is to hold my virgin vow, my Virgo vow, that no one will own me, and no one's going to be able to buy me, particularly unless, even without the truth, but with the truth, at least if they're speaking the truth, I will invest, but will never be owned. Yeah. My own innocence is the most important thing right now, and getting that back was not the easiest thing. I lived through the 80s. You with me? Let's keep going. Let's get a healing mantra deck card here from the Ascended Masters. I love this deck. I get no kickbacks by saying that. I'm sponsored by the gods, apparently, and the archangels. So let's see what the healing mantra would be to help you with this. Please breathe. Yeah, I hear you. All right. My Ascended Masters, General Assembly. This is not necessarily a soul contract read here, right? That Seven of Swords, it's a general reading. They're going to have to really figure out if that's us looking at them from the outside looking in, or them looking out and really seeing some sneaky. Let's just leave it at that. And it feels like it's well thought out. Like a lot of thought went into the sneaky, and this isn't like, oh, a surprise birthday party. It doesn't feel that way. All right, what is the perfect healing mantra? I know which one I would suggest, but we'll see if that's the one that hits the table that you would recommend for the Cancerian collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus on watching this video, receiving this reading with the magical child, spiritual growth, Virgo on the inner, Seven of Swords on the outer. What's their healing mantra? This full moon in Cap to new in their moon. Cancer. Inviting ecstasy. Oh, this came up for Aries. I love this one. I really love this one. I am worthy of all the pleasure my heart desires. This will snap your dependencies on other people quickly. Be careful. I'm going to read it. Did you see and hear that? I just side-eyed a truck and it stopped making that noise. I'm powerful today. Inviting ecstasy. I am worthy of all the pleasure my heart desires. Now, look, seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things, that's going to light up your heart, because it's seeing the sacred beauty in yourself as well. In other words, the beauty that was not made by you, but created by the gods. God is Zeus, Buddha, Jesus, whoever, whatever you call creator, creatrix. Don't cancel me. X variable of the divine, fill in the blank. Let's see here. Inviting ecstasy. I am worthy of all the pleasure my heart desires to, by the way, to the point where I got a cutting for a grapevine Cabernet, surrounded in crystals, in a pot full of really nutrient-rich soil. And that's the mantra I say to it every day. I am worthy of all the pleasure my heart desires. When ecstasy is invited, you feel aligned and ready to receive all the miraculous and joyful gifts, believe in miracles, of experience the universe is ready to provide you. Ecstasy acts as a cosmic green light that grants your destiny permission to enter. In many instances, pain can be healed and released once a healthy relationship with pleasure is established, which is what I'm feeling this Virgo card is. It's like you need to do this. Look, we all need our crutches, right, in life, but inner child work, a child will avoid pain by going for pleasure, the sugar high, in any way, shape, or form. That may play itself out, and maybe that there is some of that going on here. Is it legal in your state, right? You know, what is your form of candy, so to speak? But there's something beautiful here, that by inviting in this ecstasy, you'll be able to see the sacred beauty and not like hope there are miracles there, but actually begin to see them with an innocent heart. Yeah. The last bit of this, this mantra is ideal for increasing self-worth, elevating levels of excitement, and allowing bigger dreams. And who has bigger dreams than the healthy, magical child? But if your dreams have been dashed, and my darling, whose hasn't, at least in the past year, 4 months, right? And beyond, and beyond. I mean, the astrology has been rough these past couple of years in general. So brilliant mantra. It really is, I think, one of my favorites in there. But we're not done. Oh, no. We still got 2 more cards, right? That's our second healing system. Let's do our last 2 oracles. This is, if you're new to my channel, I hope you know what a party turter is, because this deck is one. All of a sudden, the Whispers of Love Oracle lays something on the table which clarifies. Please take a nice deep breath. Yeah. The higher selves of all involved. Please, one card in clarity for the Cancerian collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Watching this video, receiving this reading, not just them, but if there are other people involved here, their higher selves too, please. What is the piece of information, inspiration, or insight they most need from the higher selves, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above? Dealing with the child archetype, spiritual growth, Virgo on the inner, 7 of Swords on the outer, inviting ecstasy, this full moon in Capricorn, waning to their new moon in Cancer. Please leave it in my hand. Practice compassion. See things from a different perspective. Absolutely, and I'm going to tell you right off the bat, this is about compassion for that child in you. Because, I mean, look, there's so many ways to do inner child work, and I have studied it. I won't say all of them, because I don't know how many of them there are, but I've done it both through the psychological, right, the clinical. I've done it through prayer and meditation. I've done it through, visualization, the whole 9, at least the 9 that I have walked, right? So, to me, my words of compassion to that child is, it's okay. I wasn't allowed to feel my feelings as a kid. As a Pisces moon, that wasn't fun. But couldn't have been any other way, right? To learn how to heal the innocence of your heart. It's okay. But I'm afraid. It's okay to be afraid. This is scary. I love you. I love you. It's okay. It's okay. Read my book, Words of Grace. It's in there. It's in there. Like Prego. But seeing things from a different perspective is absolutely about spiritual growth. This is what they're saying, allow the healing angels of spiritual growth to gently lift you above the fray so you could see very quickly for a minute to jumpstart that little kid inside of you and then ground it back down with that healing, right? And look, if this really is a mystical experience that you're getting ready to have, you don't have to tell anybody. I get the 7 of Swords. That is self-preservation, self-protection. And what's interesting here is usually in the 7 of Swords, you see somebody leaving swords behind. Nope. He's got all of them on his shoulder. So again, you got to take that as it resonates, because that's, I mean, if this is about somebody else, but honestly, I'm not feeling anybody else in this. Like, this would have been the last opportunity to throw in, like, it's a soulmate, it's romantic, it's a spiritual connection, a love that defies explanation. I feel like this is all about you. And since you are the mothers of the zodiac, maybe it's time, if you have not tried yet, to, here, this is what they're giving me, because this is a Matt Kahn thing. I love this. He said, just talk to your heart chakra. It is your inner child. It's like, how simple is that? But simple need not imply easy. A Course in Miracles. Last card down, the new one. The new one, I love this. The Blessed Bee Oracle. Well, it doesn't really say Oracle on it. It says Mystical Celtic Blessing Cards, which is a lot to say, to enrich and empower. Lucy Cavendish. I use her magical spell cards for the waxing moon reads. They're great. I love those. All right, I'm going to read this from the bookie book, but let's get it first. Please ground and center. Both feet on the floor. Grab claws within the compartment. Nice deep breath. See, this does feel good, though. It's like the child of my heart is resonating with the child, the magical child in your heart. And it's been an uphill climb to get that magical child to believe in miracles. So they had to drop A Course in Miracles on me again. My gods of all pantheons, please, one card in clarity. For this Cancerian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, watching this video, receiving this reading, please, what is their blessing that you would give unto them so that they can heal this archetype, this magical child, so that they can see the potential for sacred beauty in all things, including themselves. I'm putting that in there. And so that they can believe that everything is possible. Working with the spiritual growth healing angels, with that Virgo, that being occupied within, being very clear with their boundaries, right? Being occupied, I'm going to say, with that child of their heart, so that the health and the healing really comes into balance. And if it's in terms of dealing with some sneaky on the outside, all the more reason to do so. But maybe it is just them being, protective of themselves, not like the Nine of Wands, but as that self-preservation. It's like, no, none of you to stealth. Thank you. Stealth, so that magical child, make a little field of invisibility. My father did it with them. Cried my eyes out. See, now that's a movie, a magical child movie, made me cry. Wonder Woman 1984. So yeah, they're worthy of all the pleasure their heart desires. So that pessimism and that depression, it comes to all of us. And if they're empaths on top of it, Cancerians, what are the chances they're not empaths, picking up other people's stuff that resonates that way, right? So that they can invite in ecstasy, which then will certainly give them a little bit more leverage in practicing compassion, seeing things from another perspective, a higher perspective, an ecstatic perspective, a healthy, magical child perspective. What is your blessing for them, my beloved gods of all pantheons, this full moon in Capricorn to their new moon in Cancer? You're going to love this. A blessing on a new venture. Goddess with bow and arrow, ready to release. Card number 20. Card number 20. Now, I love Blue Angel Publishing, but they like their italics in the smallest font possible, which is why I need my little Inspector Gadget thing here. Number 20. Oh, the first part of this is description. The second part is, is the blessing itself. And it's short, right? Does this go on to the next page? No, it does not. Please, take a nice deep breath. Card number 20. A blessing on a new venture. A blessing to set direction, awakens determination, and establish a path through the unknown adventure ahead. May you look into the unknown tangle of possibilities ahead and find a pathway through to your goal and dreams. May the arrow of your intention be drawn back with commitment and a strong hand. May your eyes pierce the veils of the unknown, and may the arrow take flight, be sure and true. When you strike the mark, may your hopes be exceeded by the reality, and may the relish with which you began the dream be equaled by the joy in bringing to life between you and your dream's maturity be clear and clean. Let the way between you and your dream's maturity be clear and clean. Gather speed and arc above all obstacles as it journeys towards its mark. As you begin, be certain of yourself, yet open to adaptation. May you be clear on what it is you yearn for, yet as flexible as the bow. And may you be as sharp as the arrowhead, so that you may penetrate all that seeks to hold you back and find your mark, landing true and bold and deep. Blessed be. Let me put it together as if I needed to. Please take a nice deep breath. Give me the words. Give me the words. My beloved pantheons of the divine, please may the Cancerian collective sun, moon, rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading, be blessed with all that they need. It's just so funny, their new moon in Cancer, this full moon in Capricorn to their new moon in Cancer, a blessing for a new beginning, that they may remember to call upon the healing angels of spiritual growth, because they are growing spiritually, and that is so much easier said than done, particularly with the magical child inside of them, that they may see the potential for sacred beauty in all things, and that they may regain the belief that everything is possible while they work the mantra of inviting ecstasy, that their hearts are worthy of all the pleasure they desire, while perhaps being a little stealthy here and there, perhaps circumnavigating the tricky stickies in the world, not revealing everything like Cancers rarely do, while they do their own interior healing, while they are occupied with their own emotional health, really tending to that child, giving it the love that only they can give it, which will help them to practice compassion with themselves. And once that cup is filled, once that cup is filled, they will be able to extend it to others so that they can see things from a different perspective as they receive a blessing on a new venture. Certainly appropriate for the new moon in Cancer, which should be affecting them, one would think, for their well-being, for the well-being of anyone else around them, and of course through the unity of all life, for the well-being of all. So mote it be. And so it is. Because, you know, as you love the child of your heart with the love that only you can give it, it does affect every other child and everybody else's heart chakra. It's just how it works. Love is divine power. Read my book, Words of Grace from a Professional Witch, or by all means, check the source material that inspired it, Really Anything by Carolyn Mace. Otherwise, if you want to book me, easy enough. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook Messenger, drop me a line. It's easier than email at this point because I get so much spam and my Gmail takes forever to sort through. And by all means, like if you like, subscribe if you want more, comment if you will, particularly if you feel like talking about inner child work. I will engage in that conversation because it is what has saved me over the past 3 years. Yeah, big time. Otherwise, really a pleasure. What a lovely read. Not really a downer, but you know, if this is a tricky sticky, be aware. Trust that child to tell you that if something's wrong, something's wrong. Cool. Otherwise, wishing you all the very best and the very blessed of this Capricorn full to your Cancer new moon. June into July 2021, my beloved crab cakes. Hail, farewell, and blessed be.